evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that takes the airwaves with fast-scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. The cross-band repeater, and we send out images at 1.2 gigahertz. You can find about Western Washington Amateur Television Society by Googling WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage. There you'll find a link to get our video on YouTube for the nets that we held on full on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. That's for this evening. We're on the 08 repeater, 14708, WW7SPR, for our voice transmissions during our video nets. So pause in case anyone has emergency traffic that needs to make a contact before our net gets fully underway. Again, this is Dave, KD7CYM. Doing now, we'll get the net underway. So far checked in, my video link is Ron, 87QKQ, N7KC, Bert, N7CS, Richard, A7ITX, Wave temporarily in and out, W7ITL, and Jim, N7QO, and myself, Dave, KD7CYM. Hello. Anyone else that would like to check in?
KF7UHK.
KF7UHK. Jessica, thanks for checking in. Anyone else?
Good evening, WW7N.
And James, WW7N. Almost a full house tonight. Any more wanting to check in? With that, let's get the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net underway. Let's start off with Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma.
Okay, well, good evening to everyone. KD7QKU here. Well, I don't know where to start. I've been kind of glued to the TV set watching all the events over in the Ukraine. That's taken up some of my time and kind of gut-wrenching to see some of it. We've had quite a bit of rain here. We had, I think, 3100s last time I looked, and it's 39 degrees. And the rain is good because yesterday I put some fertilizer on the front lawn again. The second time at least I put fertilizer on. Poor old front lawn over here in this house is just so undernourished or something. The soil must just be terrible. But even after I fertilized it, it hasn't hardly responded. The backyard responded. The old grass is growing pretty good. It's beginning to blend with the new sod and the stuff on the east side, but the front lawn yet hasn't come around. I'm hoping it'll come around pretty soon. So, let's see. I guess I don't have too much to say. Today, when we were talking, texting back and forth about that equipment that the Tacoma Club had, I was at the grocery store with Joanne. I think Lee pointed out once that I texted him. So it was hard. I had my mask on, and I always speak my text, and I think Joanne's asking me questions, or where's this, and we're running around. We go to news stores, Fred Meyer's is new for us here. Okay, back to that KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, Ron, thanks for that. Let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK.
KF7UHK, Jessica here in Everett, where I think it's probably raining outside. We were up at our house pretty much all day today, finishing up our little solar panel shed, which kind of protects our inverter from the weather and the sun, and even though it probably doesn't need it, but we just want to make sure, I mean, it's our investment up there. And worked out pretty nice, worked really hard to get our little roof on, and some trim up, and that worked out well. I'm probably going to put some pictures up here of our new lawn we just had thrown in. It's not really a lawn yet. So far it's a lot of dirt. Our friends we hired to put in for us, and because they do landscaping type work, and it's like they like to come up from Baker City, Oregon, to use our house as a way station while they go out and work for other people. And so the house up there, they come in and plop down, and we call it the Phipps Motel, and it works out really well for them and for us too, because we don't mind people being up there and working for us too. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Jessica, KF7UHK.
KF7UHK, let's go to Gum Chewing Lee in Port Angeles. Okay, New Year, 17KC in Port Angeles. I'm feeling a lot. Hi, everybody. Didn't see you tonight. I'm just kind of here tonight in body, but not in mind. So I'm just going to just say a couple of words and then just kind of sit back and enjoy the day. I'm going to watch it. But anyway, we got some rain right now. That's really good. I got my big rain gauge going. The large aperture is the 10-inch aperture rain gauge now. But the system can hold 2 inches of water, so we'll see how this works out. I can't remember when we've had more than 2 inches of, in one time. So I'm chewing a lot of juicy fruit, sugar-free gum, and a hot water bottle on my jaw, and I'm making big progress. I'm making progress. Better than I thought I would do at this time. So I'm pleased about that. I'm kind of sore. So I just don't have anything to add. I'm trying to kind of monitor 14708 here too tonight. Anyway, that's it from here, Dave. Just pass me by. 7KC in Port Angeles. So, Dave. Lee, thanks for that. Let's do the third. Marysville, N7CS.
Okay, let's see. I missed the past couple of nets. Apologies for that. But Lee, if you're monitoring the repeater, you may want to try to monitor the output as well, just to see if you can hear me when I'm talking. I haven't the input frequency, But let's see, what's been going on? Well, yeah, I think the other weekend, not this one, but the past one, I was studying to take a certification exam for AWS or Amazon Web Services stuff. So I managed to study up in a weekend and then take the test a few days later. So I am now a certified cloud practitioner. So that was fun to do the study of that, and especially fun passing it. But let's see, what else have I been up to? I've been having a lot of conversations with Rob about how we can do something with digital with the repeater, either at the current site or at a new site. And so he's had me running a bunch of plots of my digital encoder, checking out the basically running it at different output frequencies, checking it on the spectrum analyzers, and sending him plots. He's probably going to have to design or find a filter that will be appropriate for the digital signal at whatever frequency and bandwidth we want to use for that. But so that's been talking with him a bunch. That's probably good for now. So this is Bert in Marysville, N7CS. Back to that.
N7CS, Bert, thanks for that. And for ID, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. That I'm Dave, K7CYM. Let's go to Richard, G7ITX. Not in the cloud, but down on Earth.
Okay, well, good to see everybody tonight. Thanks for showing up. Wow, Ron, that's, I've been in those weird predicaments, and
yeah, sometimes you just don't know which way to turn, and I always somehow end up in the doghouse, no matter what decision I make. It always goofs me up. So yeah, I'm like you, Ron. I've been watching current events in Ukraine, and I'll be darned. Two things that really struck me. I already mentioned it to a couple of you guys and Bert, and that's the fact, watching international television on the internet. India has a couple English-speaking news channels where they are actually there in Kiev and on the ground, and so they've been pretty fascinating to watch. And I think Indian people anyway, as far as Westerners are concerned, tend to be over the top on just their personalities. Everything they do is just a notch more than how we handle things. But the thing that Bert pointed out earlier or last year, wherever it was, how India, their time, their clocks are exactly 30 minutes bottom, when it's top of the hour for us, it's the bottom hour for them. And it just blew my mind to actually see what Bert told me in reality. And then the other thing that caught my interest is, I don't know if there was a fight down at the airfield in Kiev for, obviously the airport and the runway, but I'm reading something about this, the biggest transport jet in the world is owned by Ukraine, the AN-225, and so whether that's true or whether it's been destroyed in battle, I don't know. The whole thing is really tragic and sad. So I hate to, glean. I don't know. I hate to call it entertainment value, but what a stupid way to be entertained. That's all I can say. But I'm just fascinated. Well, here's the thing. One thing I do remember in school studying in international relations is MAD, Mutual Assured Destruction. And that theory is precisely the reason why the United States and NATO are letting Russia have its way right now. It's crazy to say this, but it's true. And it's a paradox, because the theory of MAD has also created the invasion of Ukraine. Maybe I just said that. I don't know. I mean, it could go sideways. I don't know. I pray to God it doesn't. But this is not a good time. This is the closest I think we've ever been to being in trouble like that. With that, say, KG, how about just, this is K7ATS, back to net control. K7ATS, Richard, thanks for that. Let's go on down to Jim, N7QO in Cleveland. N7QO, thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, let's see here. People talking a little about rain. It was pretty nice here up until maybe about 2 hours ago. Then it began, probably to call it light rain is a little bit much. It's more like a drizzle. It's still coming down pretty lightly here. And I've got 41 degrees over here. Yeah, we could definitely use a little rain. The grass is a little, well, actually, ours is okay here. We kind of got flooded out in the past couple of weeks or thereabouts. Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time preoccupied watching television regarding the situation between Russia and Ukraine as well. Wow. Jessica. I forgot that shed you're making if that's a real shed or if it's just like a carport sort of thing. Keep an eye on it for periodically for maybe wasps deciding to hang out or something like that. Just go do a little splits every now and then if you see some things with stingers around there. At least that's what I would do. Good to see you. Sorry you're not feeling a little better. It's clear that your mouth is working much better. We appreciate your presence, even if you're not going to talk to us again. Thanks for checking in there. Bert, congratulations. Cloud practitioner. Okay. And let's see, regarding Robin repeater, I got a message from him maybe a week ago or thereabouts. He wanted to know. Let me reset. He wanted to know if I received a picture from Cougar Better, or if I could transmit a picture to Cougar Better. And it's in fact that I could receive much better than I can transmit. But I hope he understands that the primary reason for that is because there's a tower leg between the receive antenna at the repeater and me. So over the years, antennae have been relocated. They're not in as good a location as they used to be, and the last movement put a tower leg between the antenna, the receive antenna at Cougar and me. So that's what's going on there. Good luck with whatever you're doing regarding the digital stuff. I wish I could participate in that, but I'm probably not going to be able to. I also have some trees between me and there, which have grown over the years, but anyway, that's a different issue. I saw, I know the airplane you're talking about. I don't remember the exact numbers. Antonov 225, maybe that kind of sounds right. Seems to me there were only a handful built. It may be 4, it may only be 2, but they look pretty cool. And regarding the clock in India, I've flown to India a lot. I don't know if it's true or not, but one of the natives told me that the reason they did that is because they did not want to be on the same time zone as Pakistan. So, I don't know. Whatever, everyone has their own thing. But I wonder what the real reason is. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that. Let's go to James, WU7N in Bellevue.
Thank you, Dave. WU7ATS in Bellevue. Bert, congratulations if you are now a certified cloud practitioner. That's fantastic. AWS, good job. Tonight, I can see that you are doing the physical therapy there on the screen, so that's good. I'm glad to hear that you're improving. And Richard, I too have been somehow transformed on the TV. I was thinking that the head of Russia was just playing chess and everybody else was playing, not checkers without giving it too much credit, more like tic-tac-toe, I think, or something. And then he was just going to get everything he wanted. And then he blew it. And now he's united NATO like it's never been united before, and I don't know how this is going to come out so that anybody wins. But he had all the oil, all the gas, all the cards, probably all the wine and women too, so I don't understand. There's someone should have explained to him there's a difference between doing something and threatening to do something. But maybe he skipped that day in foreign policy class. Well, anyway, I didn't. I say I'm going to do things all the time and never get around to it. Just look at my bathroom and you'll understand why. So with that, let's see. That's all I have for this round. So let me turn it back to Net Control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Dave, take it away.
HYB out. Thanks, James. And with an ID out here again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, 87CYM. Well, here in Lake City, it's 40 degrees, raining, and boy, I'd say about 20 minutes ago, there was a gully washer that came through here in Lake City and really pounded a lot of water against the side of the house and the roof. So anyway, it's calmed down a little bit. And for me, doing a lot of events inside the house, and I say, that's the choice, and got my taxes for last year filed, so that's out of the way, and met with my tax man, and I got a little bit of a refund because I overpaid, so anyway, I don't know if I'll ever see that check from the government this year. It might be next year before I get my refund check, but anyway, it's been filed electronically. So that's about what I've got to say from here in Lake City. This is Dave, 87CYM. Wish Lee a happy chew. Maybe his gums or jaw will get much better. Hard to tell. And so Ron, his fertilization, and get a lot of water washed down into the river. That'll be pretty good. And third, boy, being a cloud manager, I don't know if we can deal with this rain issue or not. Correct that. But we're now a cloud expert. So anyway, thanks for doing that. And I'm sure there'll be many dividends from doing that. And for Jessica to get her little shelter over her outside parameter for sun device for getting that all squared away and weatherproof. So that's great to have that. So with that, I'll turn it down to the top to Ron, 87, continue.
HYB, in and out.
HYB, in and out, thank you.
Well, hello, Gary. Ron, KD7QKU. Okay, well, let's see. Jessica, yeah, that's kind of cool that you let those people stay there and then they get to do some landscaping. I guess they didn't put down sod. It sounds like maybe it was seed. Maybe they're seeding the ground. And I don't know that it's warm enough yet. I heard that the soil has to be like 50 degrees before the seeds will germinate. And I don't know if the ground's 50 degrees yet. I haven't checked it. I do have a laser thermometer here. I guess I could go out and shoot the ground and see what it is. And this bird is nice that you've been talking to Rob, and you guys have been planning some things. I think that's really encouraging. I'm glad Rob is still participating with us. And of course, it's good to see Lee chewing. He looks like he's taking his gum out or putting a new piece in. And let's see. I lost my train of thought here. A senior moment. Well, I guess going back to Ukraine, I saw a picture on my phone of some hackers. They had masks on. I don't know if anybody else saw that or not. And I was going to ask Wade if he knew anything about that. Apparently these are international hackers, and I guess they've hacked us. And they said that they didn't like what was happening over there, and they were going to hack Russia. And I'm wondering if they can turn off our oil and they can stop our, meat packing plants and stuff. I suppose it's possible that they can do the same thing in Russia. And maybe they can even interfere with their military. I don't know. I saw on my phone also where a tank stopped in the middle of the road and some Ukrainians went out and talked to them, and they said they ran out of gas. So maybe the Russians are having a real supply problem. And let me let it drop. Of course, some of the gut-wrenching stories that I've seen is a young man, I I guess the tanks were coming. He was a soldier, and he volunteered to go down and blow up the bridge. Of course, in doing that, he blew himself up. And they've blown all the bridges, I guess. There's a river that runs down through the middle of Ukraine, and they've blown all those bridges. And, of course, they're making Molotov cocktails and all the people. I mean, I saw this mother with her kids, and she had a shotgun and a handgun laying on the table in their house. And some bullets there. Her husband was off fighting the war, and she was going to defend the family. I mean, it's really sad. So with that, I'll turn it back to Ned, KD7QK.
KD7QK2. Let's go to Jessica, KS7UHK.
Yeah, 7UHK. I heard that they had videos out teaching people how to make Molotov cocktails. It always makes me scratch my head and say, who exactly was Molotov, and when did he decide to put gasoline inside of glass bottles and throw them with the wick? So, I've always been curious about that. Who exactly was Molotov? I just never got that part of the story. But absolutely, I think if you listen to BBC, they call them petrol bombs. So that's when you listen to NPR. Let's see. As you can see my little video up here behind my head, I need some decorative rocks or some trees out there to keep people from possibly using my lawn for a skidding spot on the Highway 536. These cars are racing by on me. And right across there's a little yellow building. That's a marijuana store. And people come screaming out of there. People buy marijuana, and then they hit the gas, and they come screaming out there like they just hit the jackpot for buying pot across the street, even though you can buy it anywhere. And it always just makes me scratch my head on that too. Let's see. Also, there's a little car dealership across the way. It's like the used cars are what I'd call very used cars, but they seem to do business over there. So that's what you see behind me here. Let's see, taxes. So what a way to bring down a nice Saturday night video streaming meeting here on the air. It's like, who wants to talk about taxes? Not me. We haven't done ours yet. So we should hire you, Dave, to come give us encouragement. So we either get around to it. We just haven't done it yet. And Ukraine, I guess we talked about Ukraine. That's so sad. It's so sad. And my TV's tuned to CNN with a big screen TV, and just see so much on there. It's just incredible. 30 years ago we wouldn't see the pictures we see nowadays, and that's incredible too. And then for Lee and his gum chewing, I'm thinking Bazooka Joe. That'd be the high-powered gum to really something cold out of the refrigerator. Bazooka Joe gum. Yeah. you know what I'm saying. It can really give you a workout. So with that, I'm gonna pass it back to Jessica. Yes,
Hey, thanks for that. Let's go to Footage M7CS.
Oh, I forgot that we were skipping Lee. So this time, caught me off guard there. But yes, I didn't have anything ready to say. Maybe I'll just say when I'm working with hooking up all the stuff to the spectrum analyzer and stuff, I always have to I have a bag of different attenuators and stuff, and other pretty big attenuators that I have to use, and then another bag of every single kind of connector that you need. And still, I never have the right one. So I guess a little bit of quick show and tell there. Anyway, this is Bird and Marysville, N7CS, back to that.
N7CS, please, thanks for that. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX, in Kent.
Well said, Ron. Excellent. You took the words right out of my mouth, and so did you, Jessica. So I won't belabor that topic any further. Bert, thanks for the show and tell, and I know what you mean by it never seems like you have the right connector. So therefore, I have very few, because I never seem to have the right one, so since I have very few, then I just have to get when I need one, I just get it brand new, so, and I pay through the nose, that's what happens when
wait and dawdle. So let's see, the big thing for me tomorrow, let's see if I can remember. Well, actually, this is my mother-in-law's birthday extravaganza weekend. I think she's 85. I haven't been really part of the event so far. It's kind of a continuum of days. I think it might even have started last week, even though the actual birthday itself is this Wednesday. So we have a surprise event cooked up for her. Debbie conned me into deciding to go along with them to the Cirque du Soleil matinee edition in Redmond tomorrow. I guess under the big top. So I've never been to that before, and I hear it's worthwhile. I haven't really done anything as far as going to any kind of events except for sports car racing, and that's outside, and I feel good and safe, as far as the fresh air is concerned. But I've been assured by the YL that this is a King County event, and everyone has to show proof of vaccination or a recent negative COVID test. I'm okay with that, but we'll see if anyone's wearing masks or one of those things. Okay, Jessica's been to it before, and then my son went to, I guess they have a couple of shows in Vegas, and I guess the tribute to the Beatles, I'm not sure what they call it, but I guess it's just pretty incredible. So anyway, I'll keep this thing going, and I'll pass it along. KD70M, K7ITX, back to that control.
K7ITX, and it's ID time again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. I'll take a break in case there's anybody else who would like to check into the net.
KJ7 Yankee Mike.
Affirmative, I must have doubled with that. KI7, Yankee Mike, go ahead.
Correction on the call sign is Kilo Juliet 7, Yankee Mike. Yeah, and about the Ukraine situation, I think they actually have a big chance. I've heard they've actually had plenty of success tactics with the Stinger missiles. So, chances they have forces and other stuff. So I just was going to Yankee Mike, back to that.
KJ7, Yankee Mike, thanks for dropping into our net. Let's move on to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, let's see. Gary, we heard you in there, in and out. Good to hear from you. Let's see here. Jessica, Molotov cocktails. Yeah, I always wondered about that myself. And somehow I always suspected that moonshine was involved. But that's just my thoughts. It's like, well, if it's a little too potent to drink, maybe we could find a better use for it. Just my thoughts, anyway. And taxes, wow. Yeah, mine are in progress. What a pain. Also, Bazooka Joe, Man, that may be why I lost so many fillings and have so many crowns. When I was a youngster, I definitely used to chomp on that and blow bubbles. And it seems to me they used to have a little, like, comic in there, a little funny of some sort. I always kind of enjoyed that. Wow. Dick, Cirque du Soleil. I heard something on television just today. I could be wrong, but I think it involved that the Cirque du Soleil facility, some sort of big shooting event over there. Some people got shot or something. You might want to investigate that. Just Google that, see if you can find anything. It may be worth checking out before you run over there. And reset. And all this stuff I don't know what's going on today. My wife went to Kent Commons. They had some sort of glass show going on, and they wanted proof of vaccination for everyone going in there. We didn't know that in advance, but fortunately my wife was vaccinated, so I guess that might be worth investigating before going to Cirque du Soleil as well, because it's a little bit of a drive for us. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that, Tom. Let's go on to James, WU7N.
He was supposed to die on the 23rd, but hasn't come yet. They keep pushing back on FedEx when it's going to get delivered, so apparently they're having delivery problems with FedEx. But be here Monday. But in the meantime, the only annoying thing is every time I make an outgoing call, I get the same recorded voice pleading with me to get a new phone. But G3 isn't dead yet. I guess they've had problems with alarm systems and callers and all kinds of things, so maybe they're going to put that off a little while longer, but just not tell anyone. And who is Molotov? I assume you guys are all pulling my leg. Molotov was the Soviet foreign minister, and he made the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact in 1949. And that was the famous Nazi-Soviet non-aggression pact, which, as you know, didn't really go well for the Soviets. So that was a promise made between Germany and the Soviet Union not to go over each other. But anyway, so in 1939, Stalin kind of gave him a green light to invade Finland, which if it sounds familiar, he thought it would be done in a week or two, right? Because it was just a small, woodsy little country. Unfortunately, everybody in the country was an expert at cute things. Is my audio coming through? Well, the typical thing an expert at is everybody. Marksmanship, rifle shooting was a national sport. And the other thing that everybody was just super good at, having to do with the first thing, is they were all outdoorsmen. In this country that gets, like minus 20 gazillion below zero, and that's the day, they were all... And so... Oh, what? Did I still have audio here? Try turning the power up and see if that helps any. So anyway, one of the things Molotov was trying to claim was that they were invading Finland to save it, if that sounds familiar too. And also, he said that when he was bombing the cities, he was dropping food packages. This was 1939, and that kind of a lie actually, might have taken off back then, pun intended. And so the Finns, the First Winter War, said, okay, if you're dropping us food, we want drinks to go with that. So they they came up with this term, the Molotov cocktail. And what was especially humiliating for the Soviets is that their tanks, if you look at the tanks of the Soviets in 1939, they almost look cartoonish to begin with. They just had this real boxy look. It was kind of, well, when they got to that later, the T-Series, but those tanks didn't look good. And it turned out if you threw glass bottles all over them filled with about half oil, half gasoline, the people inside did not do well. And it would also drip into the engine compartment, causing a overheating problem. So quality control issues probably too there, but overall there was a lot of customer feedback before they came up with the famous tank of World War II. So anyway, that's WW7ATS Northeast Bellevue.
WW7ATS, thanks for the history lesson. Very intriguing about that Molotov cocktail. And this is Dave, 87CYM in Lake City. And for Lee, gosh, I remember when I was, back when Good was discovered when I was a teenager, we had jawbreakers that we chopped on with our jaws, and then there was double bubble gum. But all of those things were loaded with sugar, but it did keep your mouth going up. And then there was some, I think we had hot lips or something that was sort of a waxy stuff that you chewed. And then there was something that there was a little bit of like Kool-Aid came in these little things that kind of looked like a flute that you chewed on. And you got the juice out of it, and then you chewed up the wax. So all those wonderful things go way back when Good was discovered. So anyway, that brought my memory back to standard. So with that, another ID here. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Dave, 87CYM. So let's go back up to Bellevue to Tacoma to Ron, 87 QKU.
I didn't write our guest call sign down, but maybe you could invite him back, Dave.
Well, if you're urging KJ7YYM, are you still there?
Yes, it's KJ7YYM. I'm still here. I'll just be listening to the rest of that.
Okay, thanks for dropping by. KJ7YYM, 87CYM. So let's go back to Ron, 87 QKU.
Well, I started to write a few things down, and then I forget, and I don't write much down. So, Richard, the show was over there at Marimore Park in Redmond, and I've been there once. I can't remember for sure what we saw. It was a good show, but I saw on the news where during the performance recently there was 12 cars broken into. So don't leave anything in sight in your car to encourage anybody to break into it, because you don't want the windows broke out or whatever. In taxes, yes, Joanne informed me that our taxes was ready, and she had made an appointment for Tuesday. So I guess our taxes will be done on Tuesday. And let's see, that was, James, you're always entertaining with your stories. I tell you, I look forward to hearing your stories every night on the net. It's like, I can't top your stories, that's for sure. There used to be a program on TV, Can You Top This? You would have been the winner, I think. I don't know where you store all that stuff in your memory, but man, you have it stored in there, and it's fun to listen to. So let's see what else. I don't know. I just sitting here enjoying the net. I enjoy you guys and everything, so it's always fun to see what you come up with and what we talk about. Very enjoyable. Okay, I'm just going to turn it back, look at my watch here and see what time it is. I'll go see how much more rain we've had. So, KD7ZYM and the group, this is KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. Let's go to Jessica, KD7UHK.
And you top this. It was hosted by Richard Dawson before he made it big, and it was really fun. They had 3 or 4 people on there to tell jokes, and they had like the joke meter that measured how much noise the audience made. And Richard Dawson usually started off the show with some great story, and he's just a good funny storyteller. Can you top this? I used to you probably saw it on Canadian channels back in the old days when we only had 4 Canadian channels, and then our normal 4, 5, 7, and 11 around here, and 9. Let's see, penny candy. That comes to mind with walking to the store and getting penny candy. Let's see. Cirque du Soleil. When I was down at the Renton plant on second shift, and I hated being in Renton because the place I had made circuit boards had just gotten sent to Texas, so all of a sudden I had to learn a whole new job, and I was over stuck in Renton. And it was a hot building, especially the summertime, because upstairs and they would just get 85 degrees all day long. I'd go outside and at break time, and across the street and the parking lot where now there was the whole bunch of stuff's been built there now. There was a Cirque du Soleil show that they'd come and put the big top up, and from across the ways I could hear the music, and it's like, what's going on over there? I just love the music. It was really cool. It's haunting because it was kind of echoing across the valley to where our building was. And so when I finally found out what it was, we went and saw it. It was not a cheap show. It was not an inexpensive show for sure. But there's no talking in the show. Nobody comes out and talks other than telling you there's where the exits are. But there's no speaking in any way. There's no animals in any way. So it's all people doing people stuff, and troops from around the world come work for Cirque du Soleil, and they're just stunning. There was a juggler who juggled like 8 balls, and he was one of my favorites because his 8 balls going at once was just incredible. Love the show. It was all live, and also haunting. I think we saw the Alegria show, which is back right now, which is over there at Marymore. So I think if you like watching people do amazing things, it's really fun. KS7 guys,
KS7 down the list to third in 7CS.
Okay, well, I don't know that I have too much more to talk about, but Jim was talking earlier about how his issues transmitting to the tower. Because one of the things that Rob had done recently was he was doing some, I forget what line of sight plots from Jim's house to both Cougar and East Tiger, just to see if there's something can do that can be better for that. One of the other things he was thinking of too was potentially at Cougar changing the antennas so that instead of being omnidirectional, they could be somewhat directional, because on the plot of the people that access the repeater, most people are north and south of the repeater, and there's some that are west, but there's no one to the east, I guess, because of all the cascades or whatever. So I thought maybe you could get some kind of like semi-directional, I'm using the wrong word probably, but some different kind of antenna that might make everybody's reception a little better. But yeah, I can't remember the right name that he was calling it. But anyway, that's all I have for now. So 73, good night everyone, in case it doesn't come back to me. This is Bert in Marysville, and 7CS back to that.
7CS, thanks. K7ITX.
Okay, yeah, sure. So anyway, we got the Cirque du Soleil to go to, and let's see. So I guess I'll probably be cooking up some of that wild caught sockeye salmon that they always have for a real good price at Costco. So I picked up on that. Now, am I going to barbecue it or just bake it in the oven? Well, it tastes really great when it's barbecued, especially if I get the applewood going and all that smoke. But I don't know, it's sure a lot easier to do it in the oven though, and it's done in 10 minutes or less practically. I mean, it doesn't take very much time, and so it's still just a little too nippy for my pleasure, let me put it that way. I'm really getting excited about a trip to California though. At the March 31st is an exciting time. Yeah,
welcome to our guest. It's great to have new people show up, and hope he's a repeat visitor, and maybe he'll start to like us a little bit more, and then maybe become a regular. That's how a lot of us, we all get started like that, particularly myself. I think there was probably a couple of years where I just would check in off and on, and never had a picture until finally got around to doing what was necessary. Well, now it's real easy, so it's a lot easier, and so people that are interested, please participate. The more the merrier, that's for sure. So anyway, that's it for now. In 73, probably won't get back to me. And Gary, if you're still listening, always enjoy your company and hearing your voice. So thanks for the in and out anyway. So KD7ZIM, K7ITX, back to net control. K7ITX is good as good, and 7QA. Thank you, Dave. Well, Jim, thanks for the history regarding Molotov. However, I am disappointed that you made no mention of moonshine. I would surely have expected something to be there. But I don't know how to say that in Russian, but anyway. Bert, thanks for mentioning regarding my antenna situation. When the receive antenna was moved to where it is now on the tower, the original intent was that those of us on the south side would actually use the television repeater at Tiger Mountain, and then everyone else would be able to use Cougar. And we had it originally set up so that the input frequency would be the same. Sorry, don't savvy that, Jim. And then the two repeaters had different 23 centimeter frequencies, so you can just aim your receive antenna at whichever one would give you the better picture. And then there was a longer term plan to link the two inputs together, and we had a 5 gigahertz link we were going to use, which was supposedly at Chandler's house. Don't know what happened to that, but for that matter, we don't know what happened to the television repeater that used to be at Tiger either. Maybe that's among that $200 worth of stuff here that we were talking about. I don't know. I don't know. Notice and I worked on the stuff at Tiger once upon a time, way back when. I don't know. But there are certainly options. Like I have a 2-element HF beam, which I keep pointed at Miami, basically. Okay, I took it down when I had to put a new roof on the place here, and I never got around to putting it back up. But it was kind of good because it gave me some pretty good direction to the southeast, and it at least partially attenuated all those guys in Sixland, all those guys in California. They come in just Anyway, let's go on to James, WW7ATS. one, actually going from French to Russian. I'm not sure I'm qualified to do that. That was my best effort, and I'm not sure that's correct or not. If anybody knows, c'est la vie, I think it's such as life. But I don't know, if you go that into English and then into Russian, that's not going to work. That's a good effort. I think I told you that Latin is a Sea of Tranquility. It's named in Latin on the moon, and if you translate that into Korean and then or back into English, it becomes the Silent Sea. And there's a science fiction series that's on Netflix with the English name The Silent Sea. But that comes through 3 different translations from Latin to English to Korean and back into English. That's what happens when you do that. That's why you never ever translate into a language unless you're a native speaker, or you'll get silly things like that. Of course, then again, maybe they meant it that way. Looks like we're running short on time, so I'll just say, look, I stumbled into something recently, since we're all a video group, you guys might be interested in this, and that is a Stars series is put out by Lionsgate called The Rook, like the chess piece, The Rook. And it's an 8-series, I think they were going to do a repeat and make it a series, but it turned out to be essentially an 8-episode miniseries. And it addresses that interesting question of not only so much translation, but it starts off with this woman wakes up and she has no memory of anything about herself. And it asks the question, well, is it better to find out the answers to that or not? And I thought it was very well done. It's got some violence and sex and things like that in it, but I thought it was a real well done series, but it's interesting to look at how a series like that was done summer of 2019 compared to how series are now done in the post-COVID world. And it's just interesting to look at it with that kind of thought in your head. Anyway, that's it for me, WW7N in Northeast Bellevue. Take it away, Dave.
WW7N, this is 87CYM. And for Richard, sockeye salmon, wild Alaskan cod. At Fred Meyer's this week, it's on sale for $4.77 a pound for a whole fish. They'll fillet it. I ended up buying 3 fish, and it averaged $11 a fish filleted. So, what I couldn't cook, I have frozen. So, anyway, went a buy on that, and that goes through Tuesday. So if you're near a Fred Meyer's and you're want to take care of your coffers, well, I was at Fred Meyer's. There must have been about 5 Asian gentlemen that showed up and just wanted the whole fish, not filleted, and they were buying 3 and 4 at a time. So I guess that's almost cheaper than the wholesale prices that the restaurants pay for sockeye. But this is the wild-caught good stuff. And let's see, this is Dave, KD7CYM. We got enough time to get to Ron, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU here. Well, Ron didn't have anything to say the last time. I'm going to pass it over to whoever else is next. I think Lee needs to have a say before he goes. KD7QKU.
KD7QKU. Well, unfortunately, we've run out of time for the net, and we'd like to thank the owners and operators of the CTAC Repeater Group, WW7STR, for the use of 147.08 repeater for our voice transmissions for our Western Washington Amateur Television Society that held on Saturdays and Wednesdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, signing off the net, this is Dave, KD7CYM at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.
N7KC disconnected. is K7CCB on 708. Anybody up for QSO this fine evening?